I think it's time. Let's see what iOS 27 shortcuts can really do. I'm going to show you how to use the new storage actions to build a native clipboard manager, keep track of storage inventories, save and retrieve your favorite food spots, and how to use the new notification automation to play music on your HomePods when a delivery is coming. And if you're not on the beta yet, don't worry. I have a ton of other shortcuts like announcing your calendar events on your HomePod.
Events remaining for the day. Edit shortcuts video at 2p.
Cropping multiple photos quickly, download images from a Pinterest board, quickly share your flight info, and a ton more. But let's start out with iOS 27 actions. Now, I've built clipboard managers in the past using things like data jar and even hacking reminders lists, but now you can use it just with the new storage actions built into iOS 27. When you run it, you'll have the option to save whatever's on your clipboard or retrieve from your clipboard history, and it's going to store it in the Shortcuts new storage feature. Now, if you tap the eye icon at the bottom, and remember this is iOS 27, I'm on the beta, the public beta is out, you'll see this new storage action right here. It's going to save values either locally, or you can choose to save them globally, which means that data will be accessible across your Apple devices synced over iCloud. Now, I have this shortcut in my action button menu. Let's say I want to copy a couple links to my podcasts. Like here's Primary Technology, that's my weekly tech podcast. You can watch or listen in Apple Podcasts. I put the link on my clipboard, and now I'm going to run my Clipboard Manager shortcut. I want to save what's on my clipboard, and let's do one other link, like Mac Power Users. That's my show with David Sparks. I'll copy it to my clipboard, run the action button again, Clipboard Manager shortcut, and we'll save that clipping as well. Now if I want to retrieve anything that was on my clipboard, I run it again, this time retrieve it, and this is pulling from the storage action in the shortcut. I can get the Primary Technology info, things that I've copied and saved before. Let's tap Primary Technology, and now I'll paste it down here, and it just put back on my clipboard what I chose. Remember, links to download all these shortcuts for free are in the video description. You can also use that storage action to save your favorite local food spots. When you run this shortcut, it will get your current location, and you can choose a business that's near you. So let's say you're eating at a place and you want to save a Mexican grill. It's going to ask for a rating, so maybe I really love this place, I'll give it 4 stars. That's now saved in the storage of this shortcut. So you see here, the storage action, and it's saving all my food spots. This one I made local. It's not syncing over iCloud. Now I'll choose Get Spots, and it will show me a list of all the places that I've saved to that storage action. And when I tap one in this Choose From list, it's immediately going to open directions from my current location to that business. And just like that, we're now ready to head to Concord Coffee. And if you travel often, you can even customize this to only get spots that are near your current location in other cities. Let me know if you want something like that down in the comments. An easy one using the storage action is to save your hotel room number. Again, maybe you're traveling and you just want to be able to refer to that number quickly. Let's say we're in hotel room number 6767. It's going to save that to the storage, and then next time I run the shortcut, I can choose to get hotel room number, and it just quickly shows that number. That's a pretty simple one, but one that's way more advanced is this storage inventory shortcut. I worked very hard to figure out how to use these storage actions and actually keep an inventory, add items, and update the quantity. So when you run this shortcut, you can add a new item to your inventory. Maybe this is for office supplies or your deep freezer contents. Let's say this is office supplies, and I want to keep track of how many staplers we have. I put the item name, and then I'll choose how many we have, let's say 9, and that's going to add it to the inventory list in storage. When I run it again, if I want to view my inventory, I'll see all the items. There's the staplers I just added, and also I have some food items. Apparently I'm storing chicken and beef along with the staplers. But let's say I need to adjust the quantity of an item. Well, I can run it again, this time choose Update Inventory. I can choose which item I want to update. Maybe we used 4 staplers, so I'm going to hit -4, and now it should update that quantity automatically. Then the next time we run the view inventory, it's actually going to show me the updated quantities right there. You can put an NFC tag on your deep freezer or in your storage room, then create an automation where this shortcut runs whenever you scan it, and you can quickly keep track of your inventory, all with that built-in storage action. And we've actually been playing with iOS 27 actions for weeks in my shortcuts community. Join over 4,600 people that are in the community sharing shortcuts they've built, asking for help. I'm in there actively helping as well. And if you become a member, you get access to my weekly live streams where we troubleshoot and build iOS 27 shortcuts every week. And you can watch the replays for all my past streams and see what it's like to build these shortcuts from scratch. You also get priority shortcuts requests where I will answer each one personally. I have a new shortcut of the week every week. You can search my shortcuts database and a ton more. And for the next 3 days only, I'm going to do 50% off for any new members for the next 3 months. That means you can become a member for only $5. Scan this QR code, it will automatically apply that promo code, and that's going to deactivate Monday at 11:59 p.m. So we'd love to have you join, whether you can do it for free or you want to take advantage of my 50% off. And as always, thanks to all the current members helping me sustain a creator business here all around shortcuts. Now, a few more iOS 27 specific actions. This is actually the new automation trigger for when you receive a notification. And here you can customize what app you receive a notification from. This could be Instacart, maybe Amazon, like a delivery is about to come. And you can even filter those notifications so when the title contains certain words, when the subtitle or message contains your driver is pulling up, and then you can have any further actions right here. I'm going to choose to play music when I get a notification from this app. And not only can I play music, we can also add a handoff action. This way music's going to start to play, and it's going to take the music that's playing on my iPhone and send it to my studio speakers. That means even if I don't have my phone near me or I miss the notification, I'll hear music playing on my HomePods when I get this notification. Maybe it's Instacart, Uber, or whatever you'd like. Now I'm going to go to my lock screen so we see the notification coming in. There's the Pushcut notification, and you can see it started playing that music right away. And it just handed it off to my HomePods. I'll crank it up, and now whenever I get a notification from that app, it's going to start playing music and send it to my HomePods so I don't miss it. Remember, just adjust this last action if you want the music playing from your phone, or you want to send it to some of your HomePods, you can customize that here. And then swap out the apps, either Instacart, Uber, Amazon, and now music can play and you don't miss a notification. Now 2 more for iOS 27. This one, if you want to log time, maybe it's time that you've mowed, time that you're reading or working out. This one is going to use the storage action again, and whenever you start the activity, let's say reading, it can mark the time that you started. And then when you run it again and choose stop, it will calculate how many minutes you spent doing it, and then append that to an Apple Note. Remember, choose the note you want to add it to. I created one called Reading Log, and I also added these actions. I like to read physical books, but that makes highlighting and saving certain pages difficult, so I take pictures of those pages with my iPhone. So what this will do is get any photos that were taken in the last however many minutes that you spent reading, and then it's going to attach all those photos to the same note, the reading log, underneath the time that you spent. Now you can also add some Apple Intelligence or AI to summarize the text from those photos and add it to the Apple Note as well. But let's test this out. I'll take a picture of some of my pins here, and I actually started the reading log a few minutes ago. Well, now that I'm done reading, I'm going to run this again and choose Stop Reading. It's going to ask what book was I reading? Let's go with Creativity Inc. It should only find photos taken today and after the time, and there you have it. The book I read, how long we were reading, and it will attach any photos I took during that time period. Pretty fun. And one last iOS 27 one, this is a simple new addition to an action, but if you want to save websites to your Apple Notes with the formatting intact, so links from the article are also there, the new Append to Note and Add to Note action now has an Interpret as Markdown toggle. So if you toggle this on, it'll be able to take something like a large language model output and retain all the rich text and links that an article might have. Let's take this 9 to 5 Mac article, for example. We'll share this, and this shortcut is in the share sheet. So we'll just run the Webpage to Notes, iOS 27. It's going to get the raw HTML of the web page, send that to private cloud compute. I'm using Apple's Cloud Pro model because it can take more text, like the full HTML of a web page. It will create an Apple Note with the header image of the article, and when it's done, it should create an Apple Note with the image from the article at the top, and then rich text throughout the entire article preserving links. Now I'll be honest, it is a little buggy using the Cloud Pro model and use model action in general right now, so your experience with this shortcut may vary just a little. Now let's do a bunch of shortcuts you can use right now that don't require iOS 27. I'm always tweaking my movie shortcuts, and this one might be the final form. When you run it, it's going to get a list from the movie database of upcoming movies. It's going to go back and get movies that were released recently and many others that are coming up. And when you choose several, like Toy Story, Disclosure Day, and Moana, not only is it going to get the trailer URL, the poster image, but it's now pulling from the user database user comments to see whether or not there are post-credit scenes. So now it'll add it to a reminders list. I would create a list that's called movies, and then the shortcut will work right out of the box. But then with each entry, you'll get the title of the movie, the release date, whether or not there are post-credit scenes, a link to the YouTube trailer, and the movie poster, all attached to a single reminder. When you tap the YouTube URL, it should open it up right in the app and start playing the trailer, and you'll have quick access to see if you want to stick around for the post-credit scenes. And speaking of sticking around, you should stick around to hear about the app that I use to manage all my finances, which is today's sponsor, Monarch. I've been using Monarch for months now, and I love this widget I have in the Today view, which shows me my most recent transactions. Then I can jump to it, see all the recurring bills, and the best part is I can connect everything in one place, from banks, credit cards, and more. And it securely connects with over 13,000 institutions. Monarch is a private, ad-free personal finance platform that brings all your accounts into one place. You get a clean dashboard across all your devices, your iPhone, iPad, and even the web. And being an independent creator, it's really important to keep an eye on business income versus expenses. And I love these email notifications from Monarch letting me know about large transactions And if a new recurring merchant is found, I can review it here. And you have lots of flexible budgeting options in Monarch. You have separate fixed versus flexible spending. You can customize the rules and categories to keep everything organized without rigidity. It's also couples ready, so you have a shared view that keeps partners aligned with the same financial picture. And they have that great widget for transactions, but you can also scan receipts or upload them directly from this Monarch widget. And yes, they even have a shortcuts action. And remember, Monarch is private and ad-free. You're the customer, not the product. There's no ads, no data selling, and whether you're trying to save for your kid's college, that vacation you want to go on, or a new piece of tech like a new MacBook, Monarch is here to help. And you can now get AI-powered insights where Monarch will use your real financial data to surface helpful insights and explanations about your money. So scan this QR code and use the promo code Robles50 to start your free trial, and when you're ready, you can get 50% off a year of Monarch. So get total money clarity, keep an eye on those recurring charges, start budgeting, and a ton more. So scan here, the link is also down in the video description, and my thanks to Monarch for sponsoring this video. Next, there's probably a lot of traveling going on in the summer, and what this shortcut will do is look at your calendar events for any flight numbers that might be listed, either in the title of the event or your notes. This is using Apple Intelligence Cloud Model to get those numbers. If there's nothing in those events that looks like a flight number, it won't do anything. But if it does find a flight number, it's going to get it and pre-populate a text that you can quickly send right before you take off. Choose whether you're taking off or landing. I'll say taking off, and now it pre-populated a text with the flight number right there. You can also choose the recipient so you don't have to type it in every time. And because you texted that to a friend or family member, they can go to their text message, tap the flight number, and then track the flight right here just by tapping the link. If you want to add a specific person to that message, just go down here to the taking off section and choose your recipient right here. You can even turn off the show compose sheet, and then it will send the text message in the background without you having to even tap send. Then you can run the same shortcut when you're landing, and when you do that, it'll get your current location, find the nearest airport, likely the one you just landed at, and then pre-populate a text saying just landed at this airport. Again, you can choose the recipient in that action at the end, and even turn off compose sheet. This way it will send in the background. And speaking of text messages, I've had remember this style shortcuts in the past, but wanted to make one specifically geared towards messages. This one is going to use Apple Intelligence and take a screenshot of your message and then create a reminder based on the contents. I would add this to something like your control center. You can do that by tapping and holding on your control center. Let's remove a shortcut down here, and let's add a new control. Search for shortcut, and we get our shortcuts action here, and let's choose our remember this message. There's our remember this message shortcut. We can shrink this so it's just a little 1x1 circle, drag this back up to the first control center page. We'll leave it right there. And now when I'm looking at a text message, let's say it has some information about meeting for lunch and some reminders I need to do, I can just run this shortcut from the control center. The control center is going to go away. It's going to take a screenshot so it can see what's in the message. It's going to use Apple Intelligence to parse any to-dos and maybe some events that might be there. Then it's going to create this reminder. You see it says text conversation, has some information about what was in the text message, and it will also attach a screenshot to that image. This way you get the full context. Now, if you want a little more help reminding you of calendar events, and maybe the notifications on your iPhone aren't enough, well, you can actually have events announced on your HomePods whenever you want. So this shortcut's going to get the next 10 events from whatever calendar you choose. You can choose all calendars if you want. I'm just choosing my events calendar, and it's only getting events from today. Then for every event, it's going to format it with the event title and the time, combine those into text, and then this is going to use the intercom action. With intercom, you can send a message to any HomePod in your home or the entire house. So choose your Apple Home if you want this to play on all the HomePods, but I'm just going to have these play on my studio HomePods. Then when I run it, it's going to get my calendar events, format it, and then speak it.
Events remaining for the day. Edit shortcuts video at 2p. Watch the Odyssey at 7p.
And then you can have this automated to run at certain points of the day. Have this run maybe 3 times a day to remind you what events you have left. And then your HomePods can tell you what's on your calendar so you don't miss a notification or have to check your phone. Next, if you're trying to find the dominant color, maybe for graphic design, website, or something else, this shortcut lets you choose a screenshot or take a photo with your phone. It's going to use Apple Intelligence to find the dominant color, get the hex code for that color, and then use this free API from Single Color Image to actually create a square of that color. This way you see exactly what color the hex code represents. So let's run this. I'm going to take a photo of my Eve flare that's glowing blue. I'll tap Use Photo. It's going to parse to see what dominant color it was. Then I see a square with that exact hex code color, and the shortcut puts the hex code on your clipboard. So if you want to paste this into something like Pixelmator or Photoshop, you can just tap Paste, and the hex code is right there. Next, I had a request in the community to crop multiple photos quickly. Now there's no built-in action to shortcuts that can use crop on multiple photos and actually give you the actual crop interface. This crop image shortcut only lets you choose a resolution and which direction to crop. But this is using the third-party app Toolbox Pro. I'll put a link to download that app down in the video description as well. Then when you run this shortcut, you can choose multiple photos. I'll choose a couple here, and then it's going to send you over to Toolbox Pro for each photo. But you're going to get the actual crop tools where you can actually drag it around, crop it however you would like, tap the check mark, it'll go back to shortcuts to grab the next photo, and it's also going to delete the previous photos so you don't have both the uncropped and cropped version in your photo library. Once it's done, if I go to my Photos app, you'll see it saved the cropped images right here, 2 photos, but deleted the old ones. This way you can crop multiple photos quickly. And one other image-based shortcut, let's say you're trying to pull the text from an image quickly and put it on your clipboard. Well, you can put this in your action button or in the control center. Well, when you run this shortcut, you're going to be able to choose a photo. I'll choose one of those cropped images that has some text in it. It's going to extract the text automatically and immediately put it on your clipboard. If I go to a note and tap paste, any text that it saw in that image, it will just paste it right here. And let's say you wanted to download images from something like Pinterest. Someone in the community asked for this, and you can run this on a Pinterest board and it will download all the images in that board to your downloads folder. Let's actually go to the Pinterest app to try this out. Here's a Pinterest board of iPhone wallpapers. All I have to do is tap the share button. I'll go over to More Apps, and here I can actually access my shortcut, Pinterest Image Downloader. You can also copy the link to a board and run the shortcut just by itself. But it's going to send everything to an LLM, download the highest quality versions of every photo here in the Pinterest board, and save them to my downloads folder either on my iPhone or you can run this on your Mac as well. Let's go to the Files app, and here in the Downloads folder, here are all the images from that board, and you can also choose to save these to the Photos app if you'd like. One word on this shortcut, I'm having to use Claude to parse the HTML from the Pinterest board, and so this action right here is going to be different in the shortcut that you download. I'm going to try to have it set for Apple Intelligence, but I'll also put a version that uses the ChatGPT app action and the Claude action, and you might have to see which one works on your device. Next, in my Siri AI video, I showed how Siri AI can look at your on-screen content and search for something like a YouTube video. But if you don't have Siri AI yet, and you're on iOS 26, you can use this shortcut, which uses Apple Intelligence. And if you see a recommended YouTube video on your screen, like maybe from an Instagram post, this shortcut will find it and open it in YouTube. So let's go over to Instagram, and let's say I want to find this YouTube video that someone shared in their post. Well, I'm going to run this shortcut from my control center. I have it right here. It hides control center, takes a screenshot, sends that information to Apple Intelligence, and then immediately opens a URL scheme that sends me to YouTube. And just like that, the video's right here, ready for me to watch it. I thought that was pretty cool. Another request in the community was for sequential timers, where you can set 1, 2, and 3 minute timers and have a 10-second break in between. So what this shortcut does is using wait commands and calculating the seconds in between, this will start a 1-minute timer, you'll get a 10-second break, then it starts a 2-minute timer, you get another 10-second break, and then a 3-minute. And doing the math, you can adjust this however you would like. The person in the community wanted to use it for a workout. Another request in the community, this person wanted to be able to send their current location to a number in WhatsApp quickly. So I'm going to put a phone number on my clipboard, I'll tap copy, and when I run this, it's going to get that number, my current location, encode that into a WhatsApp URL, and it should send you over to the WhatsApp app immediately, and it will pre-populate a conversation to the number that was on your clipboard, and send your current address to that number. Now this URL scheme means we can do a lot of automated text actions using WhatsApp. I didn't know this was possible, so let me know down in the comments what automations and shortcuts you would like for WhatsApp messages to be sent automatically or automated, and we can now do it with this URL. And speaking of URL schemes, if you use the Telegram app, you can actually open a Telegram DM directly with this URL scheme. Just put the username right here, and when you run it, it will open the Telegram app directly to that DM. Real quick, I didn't realize that Sonos has actions, and so if you wanted to be able to play an Apple Music playlist and choose a specific Sonos on your network, you can do that with these built-in Sonos actions. Shout out to the person that turned me on to this. You can also shuffle, repeat, play immediately. And if you search for Sonos in the shortcuts actions, there's actually a ton of actions, which is pretty sweet. You can create groups, ungroup, play pause, set volume. If you're in the Sonos ecosystem, definitely use some shortcuts for that. Next, you might run a small business, you're adding contacts all the time, and you have a boilerplate text message you want to send. Well, this shortcut will get contacts that were added in the last 24 hours, so only new contacts. Then you can put a custom message here and send a text message to each of those contacts individually. So if you run this shortcut, it will just pull the contacts that were added in the last 24 hours. You'll be presented with a choose from list, and then you can choose which contacts you want to send it to. Maybe I'll send it to John Turnus. And you can send it or turn off the show compose sheet, and it will send without taking any action on your part. A last few here, someone in the community wanted to have a shortcut that just toggled state, meaning every time you ran the shortcut, it would do one thing one time, do something else the second time, go back to the first, and vice versa. Well, we can use the iOS 27 built-in storage action, and if you run this, you'll see it's just going to toggle on and off every time we run it. You'll see right now it's giving us on, and if I run it again, it'll give us off. And every time you run it, it's just going to toggle between these two options. And as you'll see, there's two if statements in this shortcut, so whatever actions you want to happen one time when you run it, put it in this if statement area, and whatever you want to run the other times, every other, put it in this if statement area. Just a simple shortcut that will give you kind of two options every other time. And if you don't have iOS 27 yet, I'll also put a link to this shortcut, which uses the third-party app Data Jar. Does the exact same thing with the if statements. You just need the Data Jar app installed to use that one. Also, we did our reading log before, but if you just want a simple shortcut that keeps track of your time spent doing something, this is using those built-in storage actions where when you run it, you can start logging whatever time spent, and then when you stop, it will stop logging and show you the time between. Then you can append it to a note. I just wanted to include this one if you wanted to build it out more custom to your needs. And finally, this was a great shortcut shared in the community. I'll link this post. I'll add a comment at the top of the shortcut when you download it so you can see the post in circle. But this person wanted to create a mowing log. So this has the same kind of concept, start mowing, stop mowing, but also uses things like calculates health samples, uses the Data Jar app to store this, so you'll need the Data Jar app installed as well, gets things like weather conditions and temperature, and then appends all of this to an Apple Note called Mowing Record. But remember, you can customize something like this to keep record of whatever you want to keep record of. And if you need help building something like that, let me know down in the comments what kind of record-keeping Apple Note that you want, and we can build that custom in the next video. Or you can join my community and watch me build it live during that weekly live stream. Remember, 50% off for members just for the next 3 days. And if you want to dive even deeper into shortcuts, I actually have Shortcuts University available. This is a one-time purchase, self-paced course. It's 13 lessons, over 12 hours of videos, and I walk you through step-by-step learning to build shortcuts for yourself in great detail. You can watch, there's chapters available on every video. There's also downloadable PDF guides for every lesson if you prefer to refer back to screenshots and text. And in addition to my membership discount, you can get $50 off Shortcuts University right now. Scan this QR code. Again, this deal is just going to be till Monday, 11:59 p.m. But if you want to get $50 off that, I'm going to be updating it with all the iOS 27 actions, automations, storage actions, and how to use them in shortcuts that you want to build to make your workflows and productivity even better. That iOS 27 module will be coming out in September, and if you buy Shortcuts University right now, you'll just get it added to your account. And of course, you can ask me questions and DM in the community. You can get all that information at shortcut.bot. And if you want to see Siri AI in action, did a whole video about all the things it's capable of. It's genuinely impressive. You can watch that video right up here. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. And if you're interested in all the new features coming in iOS 27, I put together an entire playlist covering the Mac, iPad, iPhone, Siri AI, and more. You can watch that playlist right here and see all the new features. Thank you so much for watching and for your support of my Shortcuts community, your support here, liking and commenting. I truly appreciate it. Enjoy the shortcuts, and I'll catch you next time.